so much. I love you so much. I love you so much. I love you so much.
Hello, all you positive heads out there. Thanks for tuning your beautiful brainwaves into another episode of the Positive Head Podcast, where we are firmly convinced that creating success and happiness is rooted in understanding the ultimate nature of reality and the fact that as human beings, we are all immensely powerful fractals of the one and only source consciousness, which creates and animates all things. Now, of course, understanding this powerful truth is one thing. Applying this incredibly empowering wisdom to everyday life? Well, that's another, which is exactly why we provide you with a fresh serving of soul food for thought 5 days a week to help constantly remind you of what matters most. You are it. And I'm your host, Brandon Beecham. I'm the reflection and extension of you who will be here each Wednesday interviewing a different consciousness changemaker. And on the other 4 weekdays, leading the way to ensure that your perspective is consistently expanded, your vibration is constantly elevated, and your heart is overflowing and full. Also, before we jump into today's episode, I'd like to take about a minute and a half to tell you about a few sponsors that not only help to make it possible to produce this show 5 days a week, but that I'm also genuinely passionate about promoting. The first longtime stellar supporter of the show that I want to mention is Gaia. If you're not familiar, Gaia is the go-to source for streaming consciousness content online with over 8,000 video titles. And you can sign up for your first month for only 99 cents at gaia.com/positivehead. That's spelled GAIA.com/positivehead. The second sponsor I'm sincerely passionate about promoting is Purium. It's no mystery that bringing your mind, body, and spirit into balance is necessary if a person truly intends to manifest the greatest and grandest version of themselves. So if you've been looking for a way to easily get organic superfoods into your system every day with a simple plan that can help you reestablish a healthier foundation and relationship with food, like I was doing before I found Purium, I highly recommend going to positivehead.com/transformation and checking out the videos and interviews there where I dive deeply into discussions explaining why I take these products every day. And should you ultimately end up on iShopPurium.com to purchase any of their 50 plus amazing superfood products, be sure to use the code POSITIVEHEAD, all one word, for a 25% discount. All right, all you positive heads, welcome, welcome. Here we grow again. It is a terrific Tuesday here in the studio as I record. And I am grateful, as always, to have the opportunity to connect and share with each and every one of you. And today I'm going to talk about telling good stories. Surprise, surprise, right? I never talk about stories or telling stories. Actually, there was a post in the Positive Heads Facebook group, which, by the way, if you're not in there, we'd love to see your bright, shiny, happy face. And someone posted a story of something that happened to them and looking for the meaning and symbology of it. And it got me thinking. What do you know? And I even made a quick response to it in the thread. And I want to dive a little deeper down the rabbit hole in regards to that little story. And then I found an excellent clip from Abraham-Hicks, and that is called "Telling the Story Practices of Vibration." So before I jump into all of that, I would like to take a moment to read a review on iTunes. As you hear me often say, iTunes is the holy grail of all things podcasting. So if you would be so gracious as to take a moment to review on iTunes, I would certainly appreciate it. And it helps us to reach new people. So, this one came in by Swoleshine, and the title says, "Perfect. I've been sifting through and bouncing from show to show, trying to find a show I enjoyed with a relatable host that's a mixture of spirituality, mental health, and great energy for a year. And after someone in one of my Facebook groups mentioned your show, I gave it a listen, and I couldn't be more ecstatic. This show is exactly what I've been yearning for. That is a wonderful review, Soulshine. That's like a tongue twister. Soulshine. That is a wonderful review. Thank you for enjoying it and picking up what I'm putting down. It's definitely, I suppose, my own brand of energetic, my own energetic signature, if you will. And that's what's great about podcasting. It's like, it's a great way to attract people who really resonate with what it is you do. I mean, I've had people before post something like this. I think it was a YouTube comment or something a few times, like, his laugh is so annoying, or something about, just critiquing. And it's like, well, I guess we're not a match. Whereas other people really, compliment it or enjoy it or laugh with me. So, there are different strokes for different folks. And that's what's so wonderful about this experience for me, is being able to connect with those of you on the infinitely massive tree of eternal life that we all live upon. Those of you who happen to be on the same branch and leaves swaying in the wind right next to me on that branch. And we're sort of from the same soul family, I would say. And so there's a resonance and probably a history there. And it's just, it's a beautiful, beautiful story. And I'm so glad that it is, you found what you're looking for with this podcast. Definitely my heart to continue this labor of love. So, yeah. Oh, and before I dive into today's before I dive into today's content, today's kind of main topic, I want to throw out there, for those of you who haven't heard about the new show Optimistic that is coming in June. I am so excited. It is a huge leap of faith, all the moving parts that I'm putting together, definitely stretching my growth edge. And I'm going to be hosting retreats out of the property that I will be living out of. 74 of you over the course of a year, June to June, will have the opportunity to come and stay and experience the retreat type experience we're going to be putting together for you. Incredible, like coaching and healing. And then you get to come and actually be on the live taping of the show. And ask a question to me in the interview, soul share style guest. It's going to be epic. Such a net, as I put together more and more of the pieces, and all the details, pricing and things like that are coming very soon to all of you guys. But I just want to throw it out there. So anyone who hasn't heard about it yet, let me know. Brandon@positivehead.com. I'm creating a list of people who are interested, initially interested. And so send me an email, let me know. I'll keep you on that list, and all the details are coming very, very soon. But yeah, I'm so excited. I've been putting together, all the details, and as I turn my attention towards it, more and more develops and bubbles up, and it's going to be like a next level epic event. An experience for those of you who choose to connect, directly and spend a week living with me, essentially. And then, for the rest of you who don't, there's going to be other ways to connect and participate and co-create. So it's really coming together so nicely, and I'm I've never been more excited about a project than this. So I hope those of you, who you are if you're meant to co-create. And I know for some of you, the idea of like maybe even coming on the show, especially a video, TV style talk show, late night. That's what Optimistic's going to be. It's late night TV style, but all consciousness related content. And then, at one point bringing out the guest that's there that week. You're going to have the option, because there's going to be 2 of you each week. So if someone was a little more shy and they want the retreat experience, but don't want to actually come on to the show per se and be on film, you'll have that option. So don't be shy if that's one of the things that kind of holds you back from, raising your hand as someone who'd like to come and have the retreat experience. And you can email me, Brandon@positivehead.com, and I'll put you on the list as all those details are coming very, very soon. All right, then. So, telling a good story about a situation that's arising in your life. This is something that I talk about all the time. And of course, always diving deeper and further clarification and new insights on things. Actually, Abraham talks about that in this clip, which I really resonate with. I've had people ask me before, other people who podcast or, sort of coach and things like that. They're like, don't you run out of things to say doing 5 a week like that? And I'm like, no. Yeah, of course I repeat myself. That's the whole thing. We're rewiring our neural networks by doing something and thinking something and hearing something over and over again. It literally changes the physiology of the brain. It changes the way what neurons are firing, and neurons that fire together wire together. It creates new neural pathways. There's science showing how this all works. And by sort of circling things over and over, that's how you dive deeper and find, the really golden nuggets of wisdom, and we discover them together. It's like Abraham says in this forthcoming clip. It's like, by creating a container for everyone to go over this stuff, new things come up because it's a new moment. It's new energy in the world, in the space. The stimulus that's coming at her evokes like a different response that maybe, or saying in a way that hadn't really come through before. And as a result, there's an energetic release and receiving of from the listeners that are co-creating the experience. That's like even just a deeper seed being planted or sprouted within them. So that's an amazing process to continue to unfold together. And as far as telling a good story, I'm pretty confident you're going to have some new perceptions and perspectives on that whole idea after today's episode. One is this came up for me just to start it off. So this person in the Positive Heads Facebook group, I don't have that post in front of me. I just remember who it was. I don't remember who it was, but I just remember what was said basically. And there was, they were feeling really high vibing, feeling really good about stuff. They went to their mailbox and there was a dead bird in it. And then it got them feeling like, what's the symbology of this? Like, what is this telling me? Is there something bad kind of thing? I don't know how to take this. And it kind of like started messing with their head. And I've actually had something similar happen in the past. I can think years ago, stepping out of a hotel room and there being a dead bird right, as I stepped out, and I was like, same thing. So I really resonated with me. And, what came up for me instantly because of this, reading this, instantly what came up for me is, what do I think about this now? Years ago, I had one experience in perspective. Now, as I've grown and evolved and changed and expanded my own horizons on what's going on, and perspective on what's going on, I have a little different take on it. So here's what I would say right out of the gate about that. If your intuition is kicking in, telling you something in some way about something, let's say it's telling you something that's helpful, right? It's telling you something, and very intuitively, this is what it means to me. I instantly knew it was speaking to this thing that I was already dealing with in a way, shape, or form that I had a clear cognizance, like clear knowing, about what the meaning was. Okay, cool. Well, you have your meaning, right? You got it in that way. If you're sitting there trying to figure out what the meaning is, then intuition didn't hit you over the head with the meaning of whatever went down right then and there. Now, what are you left to do? You're left to make up a story about it, right? Or not. You could say nothing about it. I mean, there's some people would see that and it wouldn't even think twice, and that would be exactly, wouldn't mean nothing. Like seeing maybe a dead bug on their floor or something. They're not thinking deeply about that necessarily. Why would they think deeply in this case? So in that case, it doesn't. It means exactly. It's not having an impact, an energetic impact. But if you've let something into your field and you've decided it has a meaning, now it does have a meaning because you've created it to have a meaning. You might as well choose a really good one, right? You are the creator of your reality. You are the creator and created rolled into one, right? And if you are going to create your reality, why would you make up a story that is not a good one about, oh my gosh, this is an omen of something bad. And now as a result of that, I'm going to drum up the vibration of feeling bad or scared or fearful, right? Well, now you're creating things that resonate within the vibrational pool of fear and all of those things. So the only thing to do is be, it's really tying in yesterday's episode of being childlike. A child wouldn't look at that and think, oh my gosh, something really bad's going to happen to me. They might pick up, the bird and try and play with it and flap its wings or, something really like light and silly, not, in their innocence, taking it not even as necessarily something bad, curious, right? Curiosity, playfulness, innocence. So becoming childlike and telling a fun, good story around it, right? We're so creative and our minds go so wild. We're so imaginative. Let's use that imagination, that powerful, powerful tool, your imagination, in a really, really good way, right? Let's take power, take control. And then you say, hold on. There is no meaning except the meaning I give it. All right, I'm in the driver's seat. Isn't this fun? This is how you learn to navigate reality. I've been working on this one a lot because my imagination is vivid. And as I've expressed to you guys, one of the things that I've overcome or been working diligently on overcoming and made a ton of progress is getting into fearful narratives about, something pertaining to happening to my son or family, or, usually it's along those lines. And my mother has a lot of that energy. So, of course, it's in my DNA. It's been exposed to it from a small child. And so processing that and saying, hold on, Brandon, what's going on here? Look what you're doing. You're telling a story based around these fearful ideas. Lighten up, tell a totally different story, create your reality in a totally different way. So that's my story about telling stories, and I'm sticking to it. It feels so much better to shift the narrative in a way that you want, in a playful way, than to get caught in these loops of fear-based, out of alignment with higher self, right? Your higher self is not caught in that loop of fear and anxiety or anything like that, right? So if you're feeling those things, you have instantly unplugged yourself from your higher self, your source. That's your barometer, right? If you're feeling something or telling a story that's unplugging you and not having faith in whatever is to come, even if it is something that's trying, that's ahead, right? Then know that that's in your best interest. It's happening for you, not to you, and relax into the knowing that you are ultimately provided for, and everything that will come is there for your own expansion. And when you can relax into that and then tell playful, lighthearted stories about what the meaning of symbols and things popping up in your reality are, now you are coming from an empowered state, a connected state, not a fear-based, disconnected state. Let's go a little deeper down this rabbit hole, shall we? Let's hear how Abraham talks about telling the story, practices the vibration in this clip here. Take a listen.
So what I wanted to talk about was rewriting the story. And if that's useful. But as I asked you originally, do you remember talking in the Boulderado 10 years ago, and is it essential for me to understand every word? You kind of said no. It's really more about now. So
well, even more. There are a few things that we want to say in response to what you just said that will really help you. Most important, you are writing your story all day, every day, and have been, and it is culminated over here in this vortex. In other words, it's interesting as we watch people decide that they're going to become more deliberate. Often they go through a sort of cycle of wanting to set goals and wanting to write scripts and wanting to express to the universe who they really are and what they want. And they seem to think that the deliberate creating part is standing in the now and making the statement of desire. And we have been explaining to you for a while that the creation process is 3 steps, and that you wrote the story in the step 1 phase over a long period of time, and that who you have become, who may not yet have manifested, but it certainly is the vibrational evolution of that which is you, has already been written. The story has already been written. And now, every effort that you offer is about not holding yourself apart from the story that's already been written. And when we said to you earlier today that this vibrational reality is present tense, and that's what you want to become real-time, a real-time active part of. It's because vibrationally speaking, it has already happened, and we want you to feel the conclusive experience of being a vibrational match to all that you have become. When you were mad at your father because he didn't see you for that which you knew yourself to be, it's not because your negative emotion wasn't because you were mad at your father. You were not letting yourself be who you really were. You were claiming it with your words, but not with your vibration. You see.
Yeah, too.
So the writing of the story, if we were to encourage you, and sometimes we do, to tell a different story. The reason that we want you to tell the story, and this is essential to your understanding of creation, the reason that we want you to tell the story is not because the story needs to be told in order to create. You already told that story and you already created. The reason we want you to tell a different story now is because as you tell the story now, you practice the vibration of what has already been created vibrationally. In other words, the story you tell is about you getting up to speed with the story you've already created. Does that make sense to you? If we could convince you that it's already done, and everything that you now do is about coming into alignment with what's done, then you can be real time who you are. As Esther is getting ready to allow us in, she stands behind the podium and sort of hangs on for dear life, as she did in the beginning, getting ready for the mixture of the energy that is Esther and the energy that is Abraham, knowing that her vibration must raise to the level of our vibration, or she can't know what we know. She can't speak for us until she is vibrationally attuned to us. So these days, the mental picture that she holds and even the words that she softly expresses are, Abraham, I'm coming into the vortex where you are, so that I can represent that which you know clearly. And we would like to say to you that that's what all deliberate creation is. It's about tuning yourself to the frequency of who you really are. That's why you want to tell the story as it really is. So the story is, I'm a lover, not I'm in a lawsuit. The story is, I love life, not I'm concerned about what's going on ecologically with the planet. The story is, well-being is the order of business going on around here, not I'm worried about the politics of my day.
And are there parts of it that are more important than others? Because the whole story contains all of those. It contains some pretty good crashes and some pretty good victories, and can you choose to see some and not other, or is it all remain? But the thing that we
want you to hear, that the approach that you're taking, in other words, you're talking about having lived through some stuff that was good and some stuff that was bad, and we want to point you to the becoming that resulted as of all of that. In other words, 10 years ago, you were living things that put things into your vortex. And yesterday you were living things that put things into your vortex. So there is this continuing amended version of you, the creator, of you, the creation, that's happening in this vortex. It's constantly evolving and expanding. And we think that you're going about it the hard way by trying to figure out what parts any of those things played, when the bottom line is all of the parts you played and all of the relationships you had and all of the issues that you explored have all resulted in a state of vibrational beingness that equals you, that knows who you really are, who is calling you emphatically toward who you are, and that's the only story worth contemplating. The story of who I really am in relationship to who I'm letting myself be right now is the story. So the story is about my mood. I'm ornery. That's the story. Well, that's a big story. I'm ornery. That's my story. Well, you want to break that story down for me a little bit? Well, the I'm ornery story goes like this. My life has caused me to expand into emphatic and dramatic new places, but I'm choosing to focus upon things apart from that, and as a result, I feel ornery. I'm not letting myself be who I have become. we're not just talking about masters of disciplines or creators of empires or orchestrators of movements, although all of that is a really fun part of life. We're talking about ownership of the energy that creates worlds. We're talking about bringing your intention that you held before you came and exploring the variety and adoring the diversity and accepting the expansion that must be born from it, and therefore the important part that each part of diversity plays. In other words, you are approaching this place of understanding that the creative life isn't about standing in your neighborhood comparing what you've gathered to the others around you who have gathered and are comparing what they've gathered to the others around them. That what life has been always about was about the expansion of you, the expansion of your intelligence, the expansion of your capacity to love, the expansion of your capacity to understand, the expansion of your very beingness, and now you're allowing of that expansion here and now, so that you can have a conversation that is satisfying and meaningful, not because the world needs to be saved and not because there's something broken that needs to be fixed, but for the sheer glee and glorious experience of taking that kind of energy and moving it into a new place.
And we can do that better here.
Here in a room like this?
Here in physical focus. I mean, is that the goal at all levels of existence? You know, is my greater being doing that?
Yes.
And then in coming here, is it a particularly powerful place to do it? Or?
Yes, because it's out here on the leading edge where the diversity is more diverse, where the details are more vivid, where the new is extracted from you, where you cannot cease perceiving what would be a new improvement, and the reason that it's here is because this is the leading edge of expansion. That's the thing that most humans don't get at all about this physical experience. They think that where it's at is source before they were here, and that they're trying to prove themselves worthy to come back to that. And it is some version of that, but it's different. In other words, you have come forth to cause the expansion to which you are then wanting to catch up. But non-physical has not figured it out ahead of you, waiting for you to catch up with it. You are carving it out for non-physical through your exposure to the new details of the new life. There are new insights that are happening. Do you know there have been maybe 20, not far from that, new insights that have taken place in this gathering, where together we've gone to a place that we have not been before, where you have not been before. In other words, that's the exhilaration of all of it for us. And that's why the tone of this gathering has been a little different maybe than what some of you were initially reaching for, in that when you come wanting to carve out more material things for yourself, which is all wonderful and we want every one of those, we just want to tell you that's not the event you came to live. It's part of the picture, but the event that you came to live is understanding your invincibility and understanding the bigness of who you are. We want you to reclaim your perspective of source as you are focused and deciding what would improve. In other words, when our friend was talking about politics and talking about the healthcare system, we want to say to all of you who are focused in anything like that, you have come to explore and to come to your conclusions about what would be better, and then to hold yourself unequivocally to the new conclusions. And when you do, you will feel the expansion in yourself take hold, and then you will exude a vibration that will cause it to happen around you, you see. You didn't come to take broken pieces and fix them. You came to take the details of that and carve out of it something that's a paradigm shift more, and then to show yourself by virtue of your ability to feel your vibrational relationship, to then come into alignment with the bigger picture, you see. You are creators of worlds. You didn't come to create trucks and stuff. You are creators of worlds. You are creators of concepts. You are creators of people living together in joyous harmony. You are creators of people living on the planet in their joyful rightfulness. You are creators of children waking up and feeling secure in their lives. You are creators of worlds of joy and lives of expansion. You didn't come here just to take care of the details of day-to-day living. Your quest and intention was so much bigger than that, you see. But you can't even begin to taste that until you step into the vortex. And so, as a mass consciousness, you look at some people and you revere that one as a master of this and that one as a master of that. But the majority of people hold themselves far from the mastery that they've come to live, as they sort of quibble and squabble outside the vortex over resources and about how much I'm getting and how much I should be getting that I'm not getting, bringing themselves to places of inferiority and into places of feeling lack, when who you really are, and by who you really are we mean who this life and this struggle and this diversity and this contrast has caused you to become, and who now you are real time, is over here expressing and radiating to you if you could just hear. And so everything that we do is about getting you closer to the vortex, where maybe it'll take you in for a moment and maybe you'll feel that power in your being. Maybe you'll know for a moment the clarity of who you are. Maybe you'll feel the bigness of your charge in being here. Maybe you'll understand that you are a master here to masterfully create the creation that is you in your life experience, you see. You don't begin to fulfill your reason for being until you have control of your emotions and control of your vibration, and you're operating real time, where questions and answers and problems and solutions are all this magical dance that you do, you see. When you look at really busy people and people who are really in the creative mode, you never see them say, I think I'll retire, or I want to slow down, or I don't want to do this anymore, because their quest gives them life, you see. And that's what we wish for all of you. We want you to tap into this vortex that is you and let it breathe the love of life back into you, so that in any moment you can stand in the wholeness of who you are, adoring whatever it is your object of attention, because it's all adding to the whole in its unique and important specific way.
So I want to talk a little bit about breaking this down. Wasn't that awesome? So what she's saying is the story has already been written. So from the ultimate perspective, everything you've ever wished for is in your vortex waiting for you. It's like your vibrational escrow. Wanting the love or the monetary abundance, the health, the happiness, all those things you've dreamed of, they're already there waiting for you. So that's what she says when the story has already been written. A little different than my sort of breakdown before, right? And then she went on to go into, okay, now as you start telling new stories, you practice the vibration of what's already been created in that vibrational escrow. So it's really the purpose of the story is really a means to an end to get to the bigger story arc that's already been told by you in the past of what you wanted at a foundational level, and then you coming into alignment with that. Does that make sense? The story of whatever's happening that you're telling is only adjusting you to the larger narrative of your vortex, which has everything in it. Think of your wish list. If you were a genie and you put it all, and you were a dragon and you had stored all your treasure in this cave, and you've been cutting yourself off from it when you're in fear. And when you tell a story that puts you in a matching state to that cave, you now are rolling around in gems and jewels and gold and whatever else is in your cave. And that's what she said. If we could just convince you, it's already done. You already did the work. Use these new stories and situations only to tune in, like she talked about with, how Esther tunes into Abraham. And for those of you who aren't familiar, Abraham-Hicks is who you just heard talking. Abraham is supposedly a non-physical entity that you hear speaking through her as a channel, if you will, Esther being a channel of Abraham, this collective non-physical entity that refers to itself as Abraham. I always say about these things, whether they're true or not, I don't think it'd be any odd or really something other than Esther's consciousness talking through her. I mean, the fact that she's talking in front of me at all is pretty odd. We've just gotten used to this whole, this whole reality. When you think about it, what's going on? Would it be any weirder that something is coming through her and that is in some way outside of her, so to speak? And what I found with, people that claiming to channel, the information is what's important. And oftentimes the people who are claiming to channel, the information is super impactful and powerful. And so that sort of leads me to believe it's true, that something, epic is sort of channeling through them. And of course, Esther is among my favorite, which is why you hear me play clips very regularly. And, I love how she said here, Esther said, all deliberate creation is the same process that she's doing when she's opening up to connect with Abraham. Hey, Abraham, I'm coming to the vortex, right? That sweet, high vibing spot where you live. I'm coming there vibrationally. Here I come, right? That's sort of the meditative practice. And that's how we attract everything into our life that we want. It's everything you want, you already wish for, and source being infinite and timeless, instantly put it there. And then it's just waiting for you to be a match vibrationally for it, to see it reflected in your reality. Talking about the past and mixed past experience this guy brought up. And she said, look at all the parts you played and explored, up to this. Those are all things that led you to who you are now. That's the only story worth contemplating. Who you are in relationship to who you're being right now is the ultimate story. Getting caught up on any details that were quote unquote bad or negative or any of those things is missing the point. All the parts you played and explored equal who you are now, and that's the only story worth contemplating. If you're being ornery, then you're not letting the highest version of who you are in your vortex come through, right? You're disconnected. I love how she talks about, look, we're talking about you reclaiming, taking ownership of the energy that creates worlds, right? That's who you are. You have amnesia to the fact that you're the one that created this place. You created this place. Like, that's how powerful you are. It's time to reclaim that energy, that ownership, that trust, that faith, that strength, that power, that love that you are. And wanting to get somewhere else, so we get so caught up on getting back to non-physical where it's wonderful. It's like, no, I love how she reframes that. This is the leading edge of expansion. You're the one here carving it out for non-physical to have new experiences. So, you don't need to wish to get away from it all. Instead, wrap your arms around it all, because this is, you loved your higher self, source, God, whatever you want to call it, so much that you signed up to come here and have these experiences and to go through and to trudge through the trenches at times and all of those things so that source could become more. You are a servant of source. And because you are so filled with love and gratitude for being, and you are also an adventurer. You are willing to sign up and jump into the cutting edge of experience. Reclaim your perspective of who you are, creator of worlds, right, in the physical. Realize you didn't come to fix anything. You came to change other than your perspective on things and telling the story that something's wrong or right or bad or all these stories about, separation. It's all a part of the overarching narrative. Quit playing small. Time to quit playing small. You are the creator of worlds. You're here to masterfully create the experience of you. And I love how she says, look, guys, you don't begin to fulfill that next level version of who you truly are meant to be until you learn to control your emotions and manage your vibration. Because if you're reacting and you're not proactively creating your experiences, a master is someone who is going into the situation, choosing how they're showing up, regardless of what that situation presents itself to be. right? That's managing your vibration. That's controlling your emotions. And as a highly charged emotional being myself, this has been a big work for me, for sure. And I still have work to do. And I've come so far because I realized, I had an experience in the last week where someone, had an emotional reaction to me, and I could see there was all this energy coming at me that was sort of unwarranted and off basis and unfair and attacking and really just, but instead in the past, I would have reacted to that and oh my gosh, are you kidding me? Let me break this down for you and show you how wrong you are. Instead, I just was sending love back. I was sending love emojis to a lot of these lashing outs that were coming at me because of someone was hurting, someone's pain, and someone that I care about. So instead of judging them or reacting to it, I was able to see it and acknowledge it and catch myself from being triggered and realizing what a gift it was that this soul loved me enough to play that role to sort of help me sharpen my axe, so to speak, right? Smooth seas never made for a skilled sailor. And I sailed those seas really smoothly. And I was really proud of myself. It was in the past, man, it would have been a very, very different text exchange I had with this person. And as a result, it ultimately disarmed all these things that were brewing up because I truly was just love. I'm going to respond with love. I'm going to respond with love. I wasn't even I was hearing what was being said, but I understood where it was coming from, and it was coming from a plain place of hurt, and all I felt was compassion and love back, and it diffused the situation, which otherwise could have went on and got uglier and all of those things. So if I can do it, guys, anyone who's known me my whole life, I definitely have had the reputation of being really fiery and having those moments of being that not being a good fire, like burning the MFer down. So those days are over. I'm here to diffuse and control my fire, and you guys have helped me to do it so much by allowing me to do this show and teach best what I most need to learn. And I'm so appreciative. I'm learning to adore whatever is my object of attention, whatever is bubbling up in my world, even those difficult things. I'm learning to adore them. And if I can do it, you can do it. That being said, that's it for today. Love you all so much. This is Fia. The song is Yes and More Please. Little synchronicity with I had written down Quit Playing Small, then chose the song. What do you know? You'll hear it in the lyrics. Till next time, journey well. Also, before we cue up today's song, I wanted to let you all know that we have finally created the Game with the Universe on our website, where you can choose the first number that comes to your mind, and it'll pull up that episode number of the podcast. I've been saying this is a great way to co-create synchronicity and magic with your higher self for quite some time by doing this manually. But now, if you go to positivehead.com/YO Universe, there is a super fun and simple interface to play this game with your higher self. I firmly believe just by setting the intention to play in this way, it opens up the door for magic, and it's a synchronistic way to hone in on nuggets of wisdom out of the huge catalog of episodes that are specifically appropriate for you at this time in your journey to becoming the next greatest and grandest version of yourself. And it also makes for a super fun way to engage and invite friends, family, people on social media to check out the podcast as well. So be sure to check out positivehead.com/YOUNIVERSE, and be sure to tell all your friends so they can play a game with the universe, which also helps the show to reach new people, which I greatly appreciate. And as a quick reminder, be sure to also check out positivehead.com/transformation if you're curious to learn more about Purium superfoods and why I take them every day. On this journey of becoming the next greatest and grandest version of ourselves that we have all embarked upon, I can't stress the importance of managing your physical vibration enough. And quite honestly, Purium has put together the simplest plan I've found to do so. and I'm sincerely excited to share it with all of you. Lastly, if you're craving more consciousness elevating content, be sure to check out Gaia, which is my personal go-to source for streaming consciousness content on the web, where you can stream an incredible 7,000 plus exclusive videos covering 5,000 years of wisdom. As you all hear me constantly say, it's a daily conscious effort to maintain an elevated vibration. And if you're looking to journey deep down the rabbit hole to do so, then Gaia is the best place I know of to do it, period. And you can sign up for your first month for only 99 cents at gaia.com/positivehead. That's spelled GAIA.com/positivehead. Check it out.
I am ready to receive all the love that's given me, knowing I am worthy, yes, and more please. I am ready to release all the fear, anxiety, trusting I am held in the light by divinity. I am ready to receive all the love that's given me, 'cause I know that I am worthy, yes, and more please. I am ready to release all the fear, anxiety, and I trust that I am held in the light by divinity. So done with playing small, knowing I am made of stars, and that I am the love that I'm looking for, knowing that my heart is my home. In this dream reality, I surrender to thee. Everything's reflected like a mirror back to me, and I'm so done with playing small. Oh, 'cause I know that I am made of stars, and that I am the love that I'm looking for, knowing that my heart is my home. And I'm so done with playing small. Oh, 'cause I know that I am made of stars, and that I am the love that I'm looking for, knowing that my heart is my home.